Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this video I'm playing a troll game on the map Booby Traps. I'm starting in the middle right position, playing as the allies. So in this game I saw 3 players and I sort of recognise all the names, so I think these players have been playing quite a while. I don't know them well, so I'm not sure how good they are, but since I think they've been playing for a little while, they're probably going to be better than some of the people I get in these troll games. One of the players called Bat, who's playing today, actually kicks me when I play under my normal account, Zack the Reaper. It was about a week ago. I just entered one of his lobbies just as a normal game. He then starts asking me why I let quitters in my lobbies. So I asked him to name one player, just name someone who I let in, and then he just said, oh no, just generally, and I was like, well, unless you give me any names, I can't really comment, can I? He then proceeded to kick me from the lobby. I just found it kind of a bit weird. He does hang around with a player called Killer Flow a lot, which other players who play this game will know that name probably quite well. So it was sort of like a game I'd like to try and win. I don't know how good he is because I didn't get to play him. I might have played him in the past, possibly. I don't know, I just don't remember. Because I play so many players, I don't remember every single one of them. Sometimes I'll play a player and then and I think it's the first time I'm playing them. Then I look at replays of videos I played a long time ago and notice they were playing then too. And I think I'll just add that I was hosting this game. It wasn't him. He just happened to join. So it was just completely random that this happened. I'm not the type of player who's going to enter other people's lobbies who kick me under fake names. It's not something I do at all. I just thought it was a very weird thing to do, to ask someone why they let players who quit in their lobbies and then kicking me from a game he was hosting. Under that logic, he's kicking me because of the people I let in my lobbies, but I think there was another reason probably that he didn't say, but that was that anyway. So this game I'm playing as no tanks or no motorised vehicles, so I won't be using any ranges, I won't be using any artillery. And we are playing on a map called Booby Traps, and there's lots of crates on this map. Some of the crates are bad, some of the crates are good. So you've got crates that like reduce map visibility, which blow up. We've also got some good crates, which is why I'm sending infantry to collect them. I think in the start of this game, I've already got 2 crates, which are money boxes. The thing I haven't done very well though is guarding my base. I've been more focused. Oh, and wow, that is a real good crate, because that's just giving me full map visibility. So speaking of good crates, if you get this crate, this is one of the most powerful crates you can get in the game. Because now I can see everything on the map and I can see what the other players are doing. So not only do I have extra funds, I also have a crate that's going to allow me to see what other players are doing. And what I don't want to do now is get other crates, because there are a lot of crates on this map that like totally nullify all map visibility. I'm also going to get a radar dome because I can see everything, so a radar dome is going to be even more effective than it usually is. And I'm just going to be starting to try and build up my base. What I need to do though is build up some defences, because I can see that Cyan, Bat, below, he has some tanks, and if he gets those tanks into my base, they could cause a lot of damage at this stage in the game. So, and you can see, Bat is coming with his Cyan tanks. He's got heavy tanks that he's playing as the Soviets, and those tanks are quite powerful. They do very well against buildings because they do a lot of damage and they have a lot of HP. So what I'm trying to do now is just place these turrets. I've got like fast building speed, so I'm going to be able to do quite a bit of damage here. And now we're sending the infantry through, and one thing turrets don't do very well against is infantry, and that's why I'm going to switch to pillboxes, because pillboxes are much more effective against infantry. Pillboxes are good against infantry, turrets are good against tanks. More infantry coming through. Pillboxes do it, like, I mean, they still do damage against tanks, it's just nowhere near as good. And I do have to be careful because of my power, and we have to see, is he going to go to the left side where my base is also, or is he going to go elsewhere? I'm just building up my defences here and just hoping. I don't think he's seen my base to the left, so he probably doesn't know I'm there. He probably thinks I'm isolated to this section here. And that's really going to work to my advantage because I don't have much defending this left base. I just need to get these power plants down, because when you're low on power, your building speed decreases. Unfortunately, it looks like Cyan has been defeated, all his units are gone, and that's going to allow me to build some more defences at the other side of my base. And I can see my construction yard still standing, so you can see that I'm sort of like building stuff, but it doesn't mean that I'm elsewhere. And what I'm doing a bit is also spreading my ore trucks a bit about across the ore, because I don't want the ore to be used up too fast, because these games can go on for a little while. So the first attack we've managed to survive, at least it wasn't too harsh, and we've got some good defences in our base now, and I'm just building up my economy and just improving my funds. I'm on 2 ore patches, I've got quite a few ore trucks, and I'm just going to continue trying to like defend these key points, because on this map there is a few bottlenecks you can see, and if I get these bottlenecks really well defended, it's going to make it very hard for him to push through unless he has a very, very large force. And yet again, I do need to be a bit careful. I need to make sure that I don't try and collect too many crates, because some of those crates could reduce my map visibility to absolute 0. And for that reason, I'm going to build a tech centre, so that hopefully I can get like map visibility from satellite, and then I won't lose it. Well, I don't know actually. I don't think you lose it even if you do get a crate that limits your visibility completely. The only thing is, if I lose my tech centre, then I will probably lose my map visibility if I've researched satellites. So we'll have to see. I'll put in like kind of a safe place, like sort of like in the middle of my base. We'll probably see how safe that is later on. Now what I'm going to try and do for Cyan is, remember I'm not allowed to build tanks or motorised vehicles. What I am able to do though is build a navy. And I can see that Cyan's sort of like isolated, or Bat is isolated to that bottom right at the moment. And it's just in a nice spot that I can send some cruisers. So I've just sold those buildings, so it's not too obvious that I'm building out. I don't know if he's seen it or not. But I'm now going to start building some cruisers, and once you've got about 5 cruisers, you can do some really good damage to the opponent's base. And these turrets, obviously you take up a lot of power, so I'm going to need to keep on building some large power plants just to keep myself online and keep myself being able to see what's going on in different parts of the map, because we've got red and yellow in the left side of the map, but it looks like yellow and red are going to be fighting each other first of all. But I do see some yellow movement towards the right side, but I'm not too worried about that right at the moment. Bat has just said in the chat what's happened to the shade, so I think what's happened there is he's picked up one of those boxes that I was talking about earlier, one of those crates, which reduces map vision completely, so you go back to having no vision at all, and that's one thing I want to avoid. What I've done here though is I've got a bit nearer to that left side of the map, and I'm just building a line of defences just to help me a bit in case yellow does decide to go on the attack, because I now can see that yellow is expanding upwards as well as downwards. And yellow's got a construction yard in a pretty aggressive position. What I'm going to need to do, I've got 5 cruisers now. I'm going to go on the attack on Cyan. I can see Cyan's attacking red, and it looks like they're having a big fight there. But I've got some cruisers near his base, and I don't think he's aware of that at all at the moment. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start expanding further downwards and start using some of the other ore patches, because I'm going to need to get a really good economy going. And those I'm going to stop producing cruisers because I don't think I need any more. Else I'll be just going a bit overboard. But I'm going to start using those ore patches that Cyan's on. And I'm also building some more MCVs. It's still taking a little while to build these ore refineries, so if I get a couple, 2 or 3 more MCVs, it's going to help with that, and I'm going to be building things a lot faster, although my building speed's already increased anyway. But we'll have to wait and see. Some of the other players will be getting multiple MCVs. We've seen Yellow is as well, so we're going to have to be aware of that he's getting multiple MCVs. He's going to have faster building speed also, and yeah, it's going to be very important when you're playing troll games, because you can't make tanks, it puts you at a disadvantage. And there's another MCV coming out, and I'm on another ore patch now, which is going to really help my speed. And now we can see that Cyan is coming in with these tanks. We'll have to see if he goes for the attack on my ore trucks. It doesn't look like he's doing that right at the moment, so I'm okay. I've also got this, I'm on this other patch now. I'm going to start building some defences all around this area, and these turrets will be able to attack his harvesters if I decide to go over the gap as well. But I'm really just going for defence right at the moment. I'm just having a bit of a look around the map. We can see that yellow has an infantry guy stationed there, so he might have a bit of visibility on my base. But yeah, we're just going to get out these MCVs. It's going to allow me to build turrets a lot more quickly. And now Cyan is going on the attack again. He's got some heavy tanks there. And I think it's time to put my cruisers into action. I'm going to go down to his base while he's preoccupied with this. We're going to build some turrets so to take care of those heavy tanks. Some of them on very low HP, so they'll be able to get taken out pretty quickly. And this is the advantage of having multiple MCVs at the moment. I'm able to get those turrets out pretty quickly and do some major damage. And now we're going to go for some damage on his buildings. That ore refinery being taken out almost instantaneously, and all those other ore refineries are also in range. We can see he has built a service depot, so he's going to be able to build extra MCVs, but his economy now is completely gone, and we're just taking out all his main buildings, and it depends, does he have the funds to build back up? We're taking out a lot of these buildings that he could possibly sell, and yeah, you can just see how much damage those cruisers do. Absolutely crazy. Also, his army in my main base is getting whittled down. He's down to about 4 tanks now, and I think these turrets are going to be able to take care of them. He's going to get no further. He's maybe done a little bit of damage, but I have to be more concerned about what's happening at the top of the map, because yellow is coming in and he's got a large force. He caught me napping a bit there. I was so focused on what was going on with Cyan, I didn't notice on my radar dome on my mini-map that yellow was coming in for the attack. What I'm trying to do now is build a line of turrets. I'm not too concerned. I know I'm going to lose that ore truck no matter what. What I'm going to try and do though is build a line of turrets to be able to whittle down and withstand those heavy tanks, and that's a big problem here. These heavy tanks can do a lot of damage and it's starting to take down my turrets. What I was trying to do though is build loads of pillboxes, so I was hoping we were going to attack my pillboxes and leave my turrets standing, because my turrets can do a lot more damage than the pillboxes are quite like easy to build, and it can soak up a bit of damage if he focuses on them. But now he's bringing his army a little bit back, so I'm going to mix it up with pillboxes. I'm also going to build some turrets in there just to have a good mix. Just so I have some defence for when he decides to go on the attack again. But yeah, doing a little bit of damage there, affecting my economy, but my economy is going strongly, thankfully, so I do have some funds in the bank, and having these multiple MCVs has really helped me out. And I've also got just a load more there, just ready to be deployed, so that's going to help me with my building speed further. Now yellow is playing as the Soviets, so one thing is, if I do get built up and steadied up again, is I can build a navy on that big lake to the top left, so that's something I'm going to be thinking about later. But the first thing I need to do though is get this part of the map secure, just get a few more sort of things out. I'm also going to build a chronosphere, so I can build things in the top left as well. Maybe transport some MCVs if I get a chance. So I've got a chronosphere working there. Just make sure I have enough power. And just continue building these defences. And now we can see that yellow is starting to build ore trucks on that ore patch in the top right, which I really don't want him to do. What I'm going to do in response is I'm going to start building some cruisers, this time in this top lake, to take out some of those buildings. Because we'll have to try and sort of like get these turrets a bit further up if we can. Just sort of like take out some of those things. We can still see these ore trucks working on that ore patch at the bottom. I've also got a couple of MCVs there, just so I can build an outer base in another location, which will just help me out if my main base gets attacked. And we can see a red tank going through my base as well. I think he's just checking out what I've got. And I'm just building another couple of things there. But now we've got the cruisers out, and they're doing some good damage against those tanks. And we're going to be able to start taking out those buildings in shortly. But now we've got yellow here. He's got V2 rockets. He's got heavy tanks as well, and those V2 rockets doing some great damage against those pillboxes. I'm just trying to do a bit of a base crawl here and just get to a safer location. Sort of like nearer to my cruisers. If I can lure him to my cruisers, then I'll do. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that there. What I'll do though is I'll go for attack at the other side, and those cruisers doing some damage to those buildings. You can see he's got a lot of tanks coming in, and this could be dangerous for me, because that many tanks is going to be able to take a lot of turrets and pillboxes. And I'm just bringing these cruisers in, just hoping they'll do as much damage as possible. You can see that it's quite hard though when it's got moving targets to do a lot better against stationary targets. And yellow has got a lot of units here. It seems having a bit of problems with tracking, but he's going for my power plants as well, which could make things a bit tricky. And unfortunately what's going on now is I'm getting a bit of lag, and that's a problem when you get lots of units on screen moving. I tend to get a bit of lag, and I can't place these turrets down or replace these pillboxes. Unfortunately, in these situations, I am a bit of a spectator. And the question is the army going to be big enough to go through the whole base, or is it going to be stopped eventually by the base defences? Of course, when the army gets whittled down more, maybe the lag will stop and I'll be able to get more things out. We were doing some damage to his reinforcements there, I think, with those base defences. At least I've got my cruisers also on the water, which are going to be able to do some great damage. I'm just having a bit of a look here. Am I going to be able to build anything? You can see how much my ore's like piled up because I haven't been able to build anything. It does look like I'm able to build a little bit now. He's also going for my cruisers, but that's quite a good thing actually, because these cruisers do like great damage against groups, and I'll need to keep them back a little bit, but you can see a lot of those tanks are on pretty low HP now, and a few shots from these cruisers when they're in these numbers, they just do great damage. As long as they're not like close to buildings, that's the only thing. And I'm just building some power plants low down just so I can keep my power up, because power is very important for building speed. And I'm going to be wanting to build some turrets here. Let's see how many defences I can get up before his army comes down. A lot of those tanks though now on low HP, but he does have reinforcements coming in, and unfortunately I do lose that map vision. I just realised there I was trying to build another tech centre, but it's to no avail, and I do lose that map vision that I had earlier. I will be able to rebuild that though, and it's not as important when you get to this late stage in the game, because I know where everyone is, I know what yellow's situation's like, and those tanks, you can see how many of those tanks are on red HP. They are going to go down in a few shots. So that's really helping me out. I think those cruisers did some great damage earlier on, and if I can get these turrets in decent numbers, I'm going to be in a very, very strong position to defend this. I've also got like quite a lot of things at that bottleneck there, and he's trying to take his tanks down further, and I'm also going to need to defend at the other side of my base because I think his tanks are now going to come around. And we also see a lone red tank there. Hopefully red's not thinking about an attack. He'll also be able to see, I guess, those yellow tanks attacking my base, so he'll know I'm in combat right at the moment. And now those yellow tanks going on a bit of a loop now. Past my, it's sort of like a tower defense game at the moment. They're going on a loop and just getting destroyed by those turrets. So they haven't got to their destination. It's still going actually. I don't know if he's getting a bit of lag also maybe. But now it seemed to clear up a lot for me now, and I'm in a much stronger position. I'm going to be able to get some base defences built up, and also defend the entrance to my base. Now that the cruisers are built up on the water, I think I'm going to be in a much stronger position. He's got some heavy tanks there. I'm building my pillbox numbers up just to get some defences numbers there, just so they can do some damage to those ore trucks as they try and come back. And then I'm going to get some turrets out to try and do some damage to those tanks, because the turrets obviously are good against tanks, and now those tanks are pulling back. The thing is, if they pull back too much, what they'll find is they come in range of those cruisers, and we see that ore truck being eliminated. And now we're going to have a go at these base defences, try and take them out, and those cruisers are going to make it impossible if these base defences, if these base structures get taken out, for them to crawl back into this position. And just doing a bit of a lunge. I'm also going to take this time now to build some of my structures back, like my radar dome, and I realise I'm on low on power. I'm quite a bit low on power actually. I didn't really notice because I've got so many MCVs. It's been like a really fast building speed. So I should hopefully be back on power soon. And there we go. Now we can see what's going on. So yeah, I was very low on power, but now we've got our power back. What I'm going to do is just build some more defences before I start building my tech centre back up. I've also got a chronosphere, which means I'm going to be able to go to the other side of the map and do some damage there, hopefully. Just destroying that last power plant, and I don't think there's any more base structures there. So now I'm in a pretty good position because I've got my cruisers there, and I've also got a line of pillboxes. So I don't think that yellow will try and break through this anytime soon. So that's going to put me in a much stronger position. I'm also going to get a tech centre now, and I'll just put it in that position there. And there's the MiGs, and that's going to be not too problematic. What I'll do is I'll just build some gap generators, and place them around the map, and that'll just hopefully secure most of my major buildings. And I mean, it's very hard to like use MiGs like against a player who's got this many MCVs, because I can just build things back so quickly. The part of the map I want to be more careful about though is this part where I've got all my construction yards, because even though I can build the construction yards back quickly, well, I could build MCVs quite quickly, I just need to get more war factories. I still don't want to lose too many, because it's just going to cost me resources, although resources is not a problem at this stage in the game, because because of obviously that lag where I couldn't build anything. I'm also going to build though another tech centre, and that's because even if you do put a tech centre next to a gap generator, you think it's safe. The Soviets can use spy planes to uncover parts of the map covered by gap generators and then do a hit. So we're just protected against that. I'm also going to be getting some ore silos out and just getting another war factory so I can build more MCVs at a bit of a quicker rate, because there's no point in having all this ore in the bank if I'm not going to be able to use it. So getting a couple of war factories out there, increase that building speed of MCVs further. I'll get some gap generators as well around here. I'm also thinking I've got a chronosphere, so I'd be able to send an MCV to his side of the map at some point. I just want to possibly have map visibility first. Anyway, just looking at these cruisers now. I do have like quite a lot of cruisers here, so I might put them further towards his base. We'll have to, but now we see those MiGs coming in, and those MiGs can do damage against cruisers, and cruisers don't fire. I could get destroyers possibly. What I'm going to do for the time being though is I'm going to put them right next to a gap generator, so they're safe, they're invisible from him, so he won't be able to do too much damage, because I think my next priority is actually taking one of these MCVs to his side of the map and trying to do some damage from the back and get into his base. As we can see, my ore reserves are pretty good, so that'll be absolutely fine. And I've got a few gap generators up here, so he won't be able to see what I'm building. That I'm getting this many construction yards, because I think one of the major things is if you do like an attack with an MCV, what you need to make sure is that you have a great building speed. And I'm just building more of these gap generators, making it hard for him, and we can see that ore truck trying to go to my side of the map but being taken out pretty quickly, and I think that was pretty obviously going to occur. I'm also building another naval yard there, and what I'm going to start building is I'm going to start building destroyers, because they can fire on air units, and those MiGs are expensive and you won't want to lose too many of those. I'm also going to be building some more power plants yet again, because I need to make sure that I don't run low on power if I do go for a sneak attack. And now we've got map visibility back up again, and it's probably going to be time that we can take one of these MCVs and see if it works. I think I'm just going to try and deploy those, maybe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
So we'll get these deployed right at the bottom here.
Affirmative.
And then what we'll do is we'll get that extra MCV there. And we're going to take one of them to the other side of the map. I'm just having a bit of a look around and make sure that everything's set and ready to go. Although we can see my ore reserves are actually starting to fall now, so it is getting to a point in the game. So when I do build quite fast, I do like lose some reserves. I'm just having a bit of a look here at what is the best area to attack yellow from. And what I can also notice is that yellow is running out of ore also. So this could be quite bad for yellow, so I'm going to just put it like here. We'll just have to see. It's a bit cheeky, a bit close. It might not last long, but we'll see what we can do. Just trying to place as many turrets as I can now down, getting a little bit of a... what I'm also going to do is try and produce some Tanyas at the same time, and they'll be able to do some damage against those buildings. It doesn't look like he's noticed yet, and I'm just getting those turrets out. These are heavy tanks, and they're quite hard to destroy. We can also see him with the MiGs trying to do some damage there, and I mean, they're quite annoying, they can be. And I've also got a Tanya there, but I'm having a bit of trouble trying to get on the movement, and unfortunately there are some units there, some infantry, which can do a little bit of damage, and it's not looking too good for me at the moment. I'm having a bit of a hard time building with a bit of a lag. And what I can see though is I can see there's a radar dome there, which I'm going to take out, and I'm going to send these cruisers to the other side, because now I've got some destroyers. So yeah, those once those destroyers stop moving, they'll be able to do some damage to those units. And now we can see that yellow is coming in with those tanks. He's also trying to do a bit of damage to those destroyers, so I'm going to need to pull them back a little bit. I'm just having a bit of trouble with selected units at the moment, but we'll pull them back a little bit. I've lost a lot of those destroyers, but I'm not too worried about that because as long as I get quite a lot of these tanks down, then I'm going to be in a very good position because I'm going to be able to go into his base. And I think a lot of the stuff that he loses, he's not going to be able to like remake very easily. He's not going to be able to repopulate his tanks on the map. And now you can see him pulling back, and he's in real trouble. He's only got 3 tanks left, and I've still got some infantry. I've still got some navy, and I'm going to be able to crawl into his base right now. And yeah, he's doing some damage with those MiGs, but they're not going to be enough because my turrets are getting into the base. I've destroyed one of the war factories, and soon I'm going to be able to start destroying those MiGs because these base defences can fire on those airfield. And this puts yellow in big trouble at the moment. As soon as those MiGs coming down, you can see a load of them being taken out. We've got those MiG numbers down to 2 now, and there's, yeah, those other MiGs are gonna it's just a matter of time. His last MiG is now being destroyed, and that's gonna be yellow. I don't think yellow can do anything from this position. His army's being destroyed. He doesn't have the economy to replace everything that he's losing. He's still building some tanks, so he has some economy, but it's going to be nowhere near enough. And that's war factory being sold, and now we can see him selling those airfields. I think he's just going to sell up right now because there's absolutely nothing he can do. I'm going to have turrets and pillboxes outside his main production buildings. It looks like the next focus is going to be on red. And we haven't actually seen red much this game. He's been a bit quiet. He did send a sort of like scouting tank into my base. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crawl down to where his base is, and we'll see what damage we can do. I think he's still like got some stuff in his base, definitely, but he was being attacked earlier by other enemies, such as I think Cyan was attacking him actually when I first early on, and yellow must have had some fights with him, but what we're just doing is we're bypassing yellow at the moment. I'm just hoping he doesn't use those Teslas just to fire on my structures. Although I think as soon as I get past those Teslas, I'm going to be absolutely fine because I don't mind losing some of those. And yeah, he's selling up now. He knows that it's absolutely over. I've got turrets and buildings right through his base. And now we're on this ore patch, and we can see that red has quite a menacing force down there, so it's going to be quite hard to take out. We're going to see if we can build enough turrets to fight. The only thing is, all those like V2 rockets, they're so annoying when you try and do base crawls because those rockets do so much damage. The thing is though, and they've got a couple of big weaknesses. One of those weaknesses is that once they fire, they've got a very long time to reload, so they can't fire in quick succession, which really helps. And also they've got very low HP, so if you can like sort of like get base crawl close to them, you can start doing a bit of damage. And that two V2 rockets being taken out there. It looks like another one's getting quite close. Unfortunately they're starting to retreat now, and they're taking a bit less damage, but if we keep up this like momentum, we're going to be able to take out more and more of these rockets. Unfortunately, they've got a better range, I think, than the turrets, so they're going to be able to fire from long distances, and that could be quite problematic. Also, these heavy tanks in front, they can soak up quite a bit of damage, and yeah, if we've got these tanks coming in from the front, the V2s firing from the back, that's going to be a very hard combination to beat. But I do have a good economy, and I do believe I'm going to be able to slowly and surely whittle down those forces. I'm also thinking that red must know I'm all over the map. I mean, I saw him do some scouting earlier, so he knows that I'm in the middle right position, and probably the bottom right position for that matter. Those tanks are coming in on the road now without the V2 rockets for backup, and I'm going to be able to get some good tank kills, because if we can whittle down those tank numbers, that's going to be very helpful for us. Some of those tanks are on low HP as well, hopefully taking out some of those first, and also getting the other ones on low HP. I'm just building some pillboxes now just to keep up the pressure, and building a few more turrets as well. So we're having a bit of a hard time there getting in. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to spice things up, and I'm going to send some Tanyas into the base, and we'll just have to try and take out some of those lone buildings. We'll see if he notices the Tanya's coming, because he's starting to bring in those V2 rockets now and doing a little bit of damage. We'll have to see, is he going to notice the Tanyas, or is he going to be too preoccupied with those buildings coming in? So we're building our turrets, keeping on building them a bit closer. Hopefully he won't realise, but he does. He can see that Tanya coming into his base, and now his full focus is on that. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and go for those war factories at the back, and while he goes for the Tanyas, we're going to try and take out those war factories, and both those war factories going down. And I think that might be a big blow to Red. I don't think he's got an MCV or construction yard, so we've managed to take out his only ways of producing more army. So that was a good win there. And now I think it's just going to be a matter of time, because that army is not enough to take out my whole base. You need an absolutely huge force to be able to do that. He's also going to have to be keeping out an eye for Tanyas as well now, but now he's trying to push in with his tanks and his missile launchers. We'll have to see how far he gets. As I say, we'll just be whittling down his forces as time goes on, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some more Tanyas into his base when I can. And what I want to go for, I think, is just some of those other major buildings. We'll start building these pillboxes down again. Let's see if he reacts to the pillbox crawl, or does, I think he notices a Tanya though. You can see those V2 rockets placed in position, ready to fire. But if I do take these base defences close enough, the rockets are going to fire automatically, and that means that his rockets aren't going to be able to fire on my Tanyas, and my Tanya can probably go in. And you can see those V2 rockets firing. I'm going to try and now take in these base defences, just get rid of those rockets, and we've been able to take out another building, one of those ore refineries. And the power plant will be quite a good one, because the ore refineries don't matter too much, because he can't really build anything, so taking out an ore refinery doesn't do that much. But if we could take out the power plant, that means his radar dome and that his Tesla coil will be offline. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same again. We're going to take these turrets in, take the V2 rocket fire, and then send the Tanya in, hopefully, to do some damage. So yeah, the Tanya coming in once again, and I'm just going to keep on building these base structures, and that... yeah, it goes down, but now he sees the Tanya, and he's gone for a fire there. But now he's on low power, so he's not going to be able to see much, and he's not going to be able to use that Tesla to do any damage. I think that Tesla might have been like offline anyway, because he's got a Tesla and a radar dome, which both use quite a bit of power. So this game overall, I think it was, it was quite straightforward actually in some ways. We had bat early on that we needed to take out, and it was very good that I was ready to attack when I was, because yellow was like attacking, well, we were attacking at the same time almost, but I got attacked by yellow when I was finishing off bat, but fortunately I was able to get back to my base. I was able to survive it because of all my base defences. I think one thing that could have really strengthened yellow in the second, like he sent one wave through, they got defeated, and it was this second wave that he sent through that was really dangerous. And I think one thing that yellow could have improved is if he built like more base defences in the ore patch, like Tesla coils and things like that. He could have sort of like used the base defences, although we were getting a bit of lag, so that might have not have worked, but some of those Tesla flame towers and stuff like that might have helped. Although they don't, the thing is they don't automatically attack base defences, so I don't know, but anyway. And then I think Red got attacked, like we saw that he'd already taken a lot of damage early on in the game. He'd lost his construction yards. I don't know if that was Bat that had done that, or Yellow, because Yellow was very close to him. They were both like probably trying to contest that ore patch on the left, but then Yellow decided to go for me, probably because I was in a stronger position, and I'd secured the right side of the map. It actually turned out though that playing allies was a big advantage here, because I was able to build navy, which the other players couldn't do. And this map does have quite like a lot of naval parts on the map. It's so like a couple of the lakes are right next to other players, so I did manage to get a lot of value out of that. Anyway, that was that. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.